Kick 'em like pinion, kick 'em like sucker. Yeah, shiver me timbers, it's been a cold winter. The Bucs putting the foot on your team, call Master Splinter. I'm feeling a glimmer of 79, 99, 02, 20. It's time to ride, let's go. And set sail for our own city. It looked easy, but wasn't pretty. TB12 at the helm, that's the golden fairy tales. Buried the packet Lambo, pulled up, burned out like a Lambo. Cut off the lights in the Superdome, third time the charm, little Super Bowl. Yeah, and that Washington football team, you see it there. Chalk them out, no fans in the stands to witness a murder scene. Too many weapons to describe, ask me, I've never heard of teams assembled to damage and bash of things. To pillage and plunder, we laying siege. Raise the flags, raise the flags. Hit them fast, secure the bag. Don't even blink, make them walk the plank. Walk it, light them up, let's make them sing. Fire the cannons, fire the cannons, fire the cannons. Oh, Bucs, yeah, we on. Fire the cannons, fire the cannons, fire the cannons. Whole fields are red. Give you 55 reasons why this is our season. Palm trees breezing, opposing teams bleeding. Treat them like it's treason. Don't stop till they stop breathing. We savages, feasting. Them babies still teething. Oh yeah, Mike Edwards Godwin. Now AB boy we mobbing. GRONK, Batman got his Robin. Out of retirement, somebody call the fireman. Scorer Scotty Miller, Burning boys ain't looking tired, man. Great, looking great. That old line, I see your face. Smith, Market, Jensen, works.
All right, welcome back to Buc What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buc What You Heard. That track is hot. I love that track. My man Levi, that he reached out to me and we kind of talking. I told him, yeah, I'm gonna play this, and I'm probably gonna play this the rest of the year. And that's just gonna be my thing. Steve Glasgow, what's going on? P Nash, what's going on, man? That's Levi. That's my man Levi. I'll hit you up. I'll hit you up on Twitter after the show. I'm gonna get him on next week, and he can kind of explain everything. But
there's lots of artists now coming out with songs about the Bucs. There's tons of them right now.
You gotta love it. I love this one, and I'm kind of hooked on it.
That one's a good one. I haven't heard that yet.
Well, it's however you want to look at it. It's Victory Friday, or Overreaction Friday, or whatever you want to call it. The Bucs won, and here we are.
Victory Friday by the skin of our teeth.
So I'm here with my co-host Christina, Tampa Sports Bay. How's your? Well, I'll have to ask you about the contest a little bit later on. But we have a special guest on with us, Mr. Sports Illustrated himself.
Yes, congratulations,
Evan Winter. We've got a big timer on the show now. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? As always, it's my pleasure to be here. So I really appreciate it, man. Always down to talk some Bucs with you, and good to see you again, Christina, as we spoke earlier.
Yes, you as well. Thanks for coming on.
The one thing that I'm going to give my takeaway, and then Christina, I'm going to let you give yours, and then we'll get yours, Evan, in just a minute. But the one takeaway that I took away from this game is that this is a game the Bucs don't ever win. This type of game, these type of mistakes, these type of turnovers, these type of things that happen, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers never win these games. Never. They get down to the other end of the field and get their heart broke. And we're all stressed out. And, you're drinking a lot and doing shots after there, trying to calm yourself down. But the Bucs never win these games. So regardless of however you feel about this team, how the defense looked, keep in mind this is the first game that the starters have played all 4 quarters of football, number one. Not making excuses, but it is what it is. And so keep that in mind. That this is just one game. And as we progress through the season, I expect with Tom Brady at the helm, this team will continue to get better. So just keep that in mind. But Christina, go ahead.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough game to watch. Lots of mistakes on both sides of the ball. And like you said, it's the first time that the Bucs have played. It's their first game. And, in the past, they would have lost a game like this. There were, 3 turnovers? And then, it was just a messy game overall. And typically the Bucs wouldn't win that, as well as, it was heavy on penalties. And I think a lot of the penalties were, I think on both sides of the ball, the refs were not calling a good game in general. But, definitely made through. And you really only have the GOAT, Ryan Suckup, the GOAT, Tom Brady, and Ryan Suckup to thank for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Evan Winter, go ahead, man. Let's hear from you, my friend.
What's up? Yeah, so I mean, based like off of what we were talking about on Twitter, yeah, I totally get what y'all are saying. Typically, in the past, the Bucs would not win these types of games, but at the same time, there comes a moment where they are. I mean, we all obviously are acknowledging that they're a good team. They won the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, talent stacked everywhere. They've moved out of that phase of not expecting to win these types of games or just completely floundering and then not coming back and taking advantage of an opportunity to right the ship. No pun intended. And you look at last year. You point to 3 games: the Chargers game, the Giants game, and then even the Vikings game. The Bucs did not play well in all 3 of those games. Now, they weren't, -3 turnover margin and stuff like that, and 100 yards worth of penalties and all that stuff. But they were games in which Tampa Bay usually would not win them. I mean, in the current, when they did the Chargers game, they showed that Bruce Arians even said after that game that they would not have won that type of game a year ago. But after last year, after watching Tampa Bay and how they've grown and how they've matured and just become this almost super team, we still have a whole season to play out. But right now, as things are looking, I think like after now that we've confirmed that yeah, I mean, it's time to expect Tampa Bay to win these games. I mean, even when they don't play well, they should still be able to beat teams. I mean, that's the one thing we've been saying all off season, is that the only thing that's going to beat them this year is themselves.
Right.
So, they might play poorly, but at the same time, they've got what it takes to come back and win these types of games now.
And to me, the questions that I have before the season started, I still kind of have number one, secondary, number 2, special teams on both sides. Now, what we saw from Bradley Pinion, what we saw from my man Ryan Suckup, what we saw from Jaden Mickens. These are names that, well, I can't include Suckup with that conversation of Pinion and Mickens, but what we've seen was, there just have been question marks on both sides of the ball. Sure tackling, especially on kick returns. It's still kind of scary to watch the Bucs, trying to cover kickoffs. On both sides of the ball, what we saw from Jaden Mickens, we saw something that was just like, wow, where'd this all come from? This is a guy that made up his mind. This is where I'm running. This is what I'm doing. And he just did it. It wasn't where we've seen him in past seasons in the past, he's thinking about what he's going to do. And then he gets up there and he's indecisive. He was very decisive last night. And that shocked me. I wasn't expecting that from him, but it's something that I hope that he can improve on. I hope we see more of that.
Yeah, it was definitely a shock to see Jaden Mickens step up the way he did. Was in 95 yards, I believe he had. And normally, like you said, Gene, he is very indecisive when he does get those kickoff returns. So to see him do so well is really great, and hopefully he keeps it up.
Yeah, 92 yards on kick returns and punt returns, 21 yards. So he had a very busy season, or very, very, very busy.
Very busy day.
Yeah. So
it was the return of the Mick, baby. I mean, he got elevated. He got signed to the 53-man roster today, so he's back on there. Obviously, the Bucs can waive him anytime they want, like they did with Chris Cooper today. But yeah, he was great, and he would even had a better night if the holding call on the one punt return didn't get called. So, I mean, he's fun to watch, and he really improved toward the end of last year. So it's good to see him. He had a really strong training camp too, so it's good to see him back out there making plays.
Yeah, most definitely. So for you guys, and I'm gonna start with you, Evan. Who stood out to you the most on this? When you're looking at the squad, you looked at how the game went. Who stood out to you the most? As you're looking at the game.
Antonio Brown on offense. I mean, that kind of feels like low-hanging fruit, but I mean, the dude made plays. He looked like his old self. And I mean, if he's going to be like that this year, then I mean, I don't see how you stop this offense. I mean, obviously the running game still needs a lot of work, but yeah, that's just crazy. But then Vita Vea on the other side of the ball, he had an excellent night, just constantly pushing the pocket, doing his normal thing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I want to watch more of Winfield Jr.'s game, but the all 22 is not available still. So it's so lame, dude.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this.
Boycott Game Pass.
You know what? I've already paid for it. I've already paid for it. And this is where I'm struggling at. I mean, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, they haven't stitched it all together. What was it like? It was like 3 weeks in, year before last, before they had Game Pass available, had the all 22 available.
That's messed up.
Yeah, so there should be discounts handed out or something. Something should be done
Just
here.
give me the all 22 at this point. I just need
give it to me. Like that's all I care about right now.
Yeah, so if you had to give out your game ball, who are you giving your game ball to?
Oh, Brady, easily. And again, low hanging fruit. I know, but dude, I mean, he was electric. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have to argue and say that Dak Prescott did outplay him, but only by the slightest margin. I mean, you're not going to go wrong either way. But dude, Tom Brady was unreal. And I mean, just what he's able to do at this age.
Athletically.
It's crazy, man. It's just absolutely insane. Looks like he hasn't lost anything off the ball. Now, granted, we'll see what he looks like week 13, 14, 15 on down the line. But I mean, my God, just right now, he's unreal, man. He is so unreal.
Yeah, you don't leave the GOAT with 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock. Right. That's just way too much time. That's like a whole quarter for him. So for him to put together that play and march down the field, and perfect for Ryan Suckup. I didn't doubt it at all. But it was a great drive.
He comes out, and hits like before he threw those final three incompletions, just to kind of preserve the clock.
Right.
He was like 5 of 7 for like 62 yards on that final drive. I mean, it's just ice in his veins, man. Just absolute ice.
Exactly. And it was crazy. There was a clip of Tom Brady and the look on his face when he was getting ready to go out on the field. And I thought about that, and I was like, wow. Look at this guy. Look at the guy. Look at his look.
Determination.
You already know that something's gonna happen.
Well, the cool part too is like, yeah, you can just tell he's ready just to go, end your childhood dreams of ever being anything in life. But I read this interview with Julian Edelman where Edelman says he's like almost not joking, but so just laid back and relaxed and collected in those situations. So in his head, I mean, like, this is why I always argue that football players are like psychopaths and masochists to a certain point, because they've just got all this just rage and terror and just crazy stuff going on in their head. But, on the outside, they're cool, calm, and collected. But in their mind, they're like breaking you over their knee however many different times and ways they can.
Yeah. I have said multiple times that Tom Brady is definitely like a sociopath or psychopath, just the way he maintains his body, trains, and how he plays the game of football. So definitely. And then I saw a meme of that face that he was making, that determination. It was like when Brady made this face, you knew it was game over.
Yep.
And he just went out there and executed. And that's something we haven't had in Tampa ever.
We got it now, though. Oh,
yeah. In the past, we would have lost. We've had the possibility of game-winning drives, and just either had interceptions or just didn't make it. But I didn't have a doubt in my mind that Brady could get it done.
So, Christina, who would you give your game ball to?
I mean, I got to go with Evan as well. I got to say Antonio Brown. I mean, he did a really great job. And then I also got to give it up to the offensive line. There was no sacks at all in the game. Specifically, Tristan Wirfs, he balled out, and Vita Vea and Sue did a really great job as well.
Yeah.
Even though there was a lot of holding calls on that defensive line there. So,
hey, you already know who my game ball is going to. My guy here, of course. I mean,
well, it was nice seeing him have that game too, especially after he had that little slump in camp. So you wondered kind of what it was going to look like. But I like Nestor's comment down there about Gronk. I mean, dude, talk about somebody who had a hell of a game. Gronk did too. I mean, he looked like, just remember him at this point last year. I mean, he looked like he was going to die.
Gronk was.
I remember he like tried to run that screen pass against the Saints, and he was moving his body was moving so violently and so fast, but his feet were just stuck. Like,
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
wasn't running in slow motion.
yeah,
He still
it's
had
just
he was partying too much in the
it's
offseason.
night and day, man. And I mean, he just that second touchdown pass. I mean, just the connection those two dudes have is
That football, and
insane.
you think about the football IQ. I mean, here he is, and he realizes the coverage. How often do you see a tight end who realizes the coverage and figures out what to do, and he's on the same page with the quarterback who's seeing the same thing as the tight end is seeing, and he puts the ball right where he needs to put it, and that ball is coming out.
Right, yeah. He was
That
throwing
ball,
it into traffic, double coverage most of the time.
Yeah, it was definitely an awesome sight to see.
you know, I do have a question, and I'm glad you're on. Did you see the interview with Tom Brady where he was talking about the rules and how the rules do not really help the quarterback, the rule changes, and how it's more of an offensive minded league now? And
Mm.
I have to, I have to, I
Are you
wish I,
talking about the penalties
yeah, the penalties, and
and
yeah,
how it's more of the defense's responsibility to protect the quarterback than it is
yeah,
the offensive lineman?
yeah. Basically, he's saying it's the quarterback's job to protect his receiver.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
Yeah, to
I gotta
protect the
find,
receiver.
I'll get you that link, but I guess you haven't seen it because I really would have liked to have gotten your opinion on it.
Yeah, my
Because
bad.
I think he's spot on. Somebody said that they made the rules because of Tom Brady. Uh,
I mean, yeah, I could see that. You know, a lot of people are always like the refs are favoring Tom Brady. Roger Goodell wants to protect him and things like that. But I agree with Tom Brady as far to an extent, you know, as far as if your offensive line is not doing their job to see the play coming, or if he's even said he even said in the interview that if he can't see them coming, can't see the defensive lineman coming, and he's not doing his job properly either. So it's up to the quarterback as well as the offensive line to do their job. And it's not up to the defense to have to, you know, kind of play at a lower level.
yep, I agree because I remember, you know, growing up, you know, you never put the ball in the middle of the field because you're gonna get your receiver killed.
Yeah,
And
you'll get.
that was illegal.
That's
And
what he talked about. He said,
yeah,
you know, back in the day when Ray Rice, he would play Ray Lewis,
Ray
he would
Lewis.
never throw the ball in his direction just because he knew that he would destroy the wide receivers.
So yeah, that makes sense. All right. Nestor, thank you for this. I totally agree with you. Thank you, Jason Light, for luring Tom Brady to our Bucs. Still trying to adjust to it. Mr.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how just all that set up and the timing of that just happened the way it did.
It could
I
be a
mean,
motion picture, to be honest.
It is.
yeah,
It's a
wild.
movie for real.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. But hey, you know who y'all have to thank the most for all this, and I just gotta bury into my character here character on Twitter that I've been dubbed from time to time. But the Tennessee Titans, if they don't shut him down, and give New England the impression that, you know, hey, maybe this guy's done, or, you know, we just need to move on. Might never happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the question is
I've
Brady
read,
washed, so they didn't want him anymore.
That's
I've
just me. That's just me
read
getting
some
my
of the
fist.
stories about that. Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Everything's Bucks is talking about Byron Leftwich. Uh, Byron Leftwich in the play calling, and how he's really working with Tom Brady. I have to say, I was not a fan of Byron Leftwich after his first year. And be honest, I
He
was
was
like,
young, inexperienced. He had a lot to learn, and I think working with Tom all of last season has really helped him grow and develop and, you know, be the best offensive coordinator that he can be.
yeah. I think, like I said, I still think it's a marriage. I think it's Bruce Arians. I think it's Byron, and I think it's Tom Brady, and I think they all work well together. The play of the game for you, and Ruth, goodness, I'm sorry, Christina, that slapped me.
It's okay.
Christina, what is your play of the game?
Play of the game. I mean, play of the game would be, you know, there was that one pass to Antonio Brown towards the end. He was on the right side of the field, and it was just a laser of a shot down the field for Antonio Brown. He really stepped up that game.
Yep, that could be one right there. Evan, play of the game.
That's tough, man. There are so many to pick from. I mean, the Gronk second touchdown was obviously huge. Are we talking like
I'm just talking in general,
just in general? Okay, I didn't have like impact. Then yeah, I'm gonna go either the Gronk touchdown. Well, no, I got to pick one. Crap. I'm gonna go the second Gronk touchdown with the AB deep touchdown, just right barely behind it. But like in terms of impactful, like most.
Yeah, and let know because I don't want you to steal my thunder. So
okay,
yours. Vita Vea nice. Collapse in the pocket and destroying Dak Prescott. That play was so phenomenal. I had a Kansas City Chiefs fan reach out to me who had been like monumentally dismissive of Vita Vea because he didn't see him week 12. So he was just like, oh, and I was like, listen, man, Vita Vea is playing. You need to keep that in mind. He's like, oh yeah. I'm sure he'll
whatever you say.
He'll get his touches, blah, blah, bloggity, blah. And then he went on to talk about Tariq Hill again. So he like totally dismissed everything I said. And I said, dude, listen, I want you during the Super Bowl, look for Vita Vea. You won't have to look hard, you won't have to look far.
Nope.
Look for him. So after that, it was just like, oh man, this dude, he knew that what I was saying was true. So we were watching, I'm watching the game, and he said that Vita Vea is a real man. And so for me, when
that's a grown ass man.
Exactly. Well, so when he collapsed that pocket and collapsed it into into Dak's lap, that was a play for me. It could have easily been that Ezekiel Elliott where Ndamukong Suh picked him up. Or was that Ezekiel Elliott that he picked him up, or was that Suh picked somebody?
I remember the play. Somebody just ran over Zeke.
No, he picked somebody up, like by their shoulder pad.
I didn't see that then.
Yeah, I have to see who that was, but the play, like I said, the play that stuck out for me was probably the Vita Vea was that play.
Right.
I love watching him play, man. He's just so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I mean, he even had people up here in Nashville tweeting, like this one guy that I'm friends with on Twitter was like, he goes, I want a Vita Vea. Why can't I have one? So
yeah, everybody wants a Vita Vea.
everybody needs a Vita Vea in their life, honestly.
And a guy we haven't really talked about on the show yet, rookie Joe Tryon. Joe Tryon, he was balling out last night.
You think so?
Secret. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I saw him drop back into coverage a couple of times, and
he was getting pressure. He was getting pressure early on. And Joe Tryon's a real deal.
He was silent. He didn't do. I mean, there was only one sack, a good amount of pressure, but
you know what I say? Sacks are sexy, but you get them pressures. Pressures are just as important as sacks are.
Right. Absolutely. There was a one play where. It was Shaq. I think it was Shaq that caused the, was it the interception with the? I don't remember. I just remember it happening. I gotta watch the game again. I was a little.
I mean, when you've got to hold Vita Vea every play, I mean that tells you that this guy is the real deal. And I do want to address this. I know a lot of people are talking about the refs. I've heard the refs talked about on social media. The refs are going to affect all 32 teams.
Yes.
Nobody's going to be exempt from the refs making calls and the way they're calling games. And it's frustrating. Like I've said, I don't want to know what a ref's name is. I don't want to be familiarized with what he looks like. I don't give a damn. I just want him to. I want the game to flow. So
I think there was one too many penalties last night. There were, and I think. A lot of people want to complain about, Tom Brady paid the refs, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I think it went both ways, honestly. I think some calls were missed on
both for both teams.
For both teams, absolutely. Yeah. So I think it went both ways for sure. Everybody wants to talk about the offensive pass interference on the final drive that they're talking about for Chris Godwin. Okay, maybe it was offensive pass interference.
I don't think he genuinely extended his arm to make it according to the rules.
Right. Yeah.
Evan,
So it was a questionable call, but there were tons of times that where Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh were being held on the line. So you could argue both ways. Just because that was the game-winning drive, it's going to stick out even more. But I think regardless of that, the Bucs would have won anyways.
I always think it's so ironic that people say, and I mean, and this is a legit opinion. This is a legit comment to make. So I'm not taking anything away from the actual comment itself. But people always say, don't let the refs decide the game. The refs shouldn't make a call that late in the game, unless obviously if it's something egregious, like if somebody grabs you by the face mask and slams you down, NFL
Yeah, if it's
blitz style.
obvious.
You're right. But then at the same time, a lot of the same people will turn around in a moment like that with Chris Godwin and be like, "Why didn't you throw the flag?" Wait a second.
Yeah, you got to keep that same energy.
Yeah, let's not. I mean, in a questionable call like that, one that can be debated back and forth. Yeah, don't let the refs decide at the end of the day. But I don't know. That's just a nice little twist of irony. I enjoy.
I will have to say that I went out to watch the game, and there were one too many Cowboy fans at that bar.
They're everywhere.
And the
delusion is everywhere.
I was losing it. There were some delusional fans in there.
Delusion is a hell of a drug.
I wanted some of them to shut up because it was getting too much.
And like I said, you're dealing with delusional people. They're not in grip with reality. Well, and it is what it is.
And the worst part is they were in it. They were in it the entire game. So I mean, it's not like there's ever a moment where they could really shut up, or the Bucs couldn't. They didn't shut up till the very end.
I mean, they shut up right when the game was over.
Well, for sure. Even then, they still had reason to complain because of the Godwin no call. So I mean. Yeah, I'm just ragging on Cowboys fans now.
I mean, I do have to give it up to Dak. He played a great, amazing game, and he's got to give himself a pat on the back because, he came back after all of his injuries from last season, and he balled out, So I see him being successful for the rest of the season.
I have to blame the Bucs secondary. I'm sorry, I have to play devil's.
No, we do need to talk about the Bucs secondary.
And the reason they didn't run the ball was because they were so successful passing the ball. Yep. They didn't have to run the ball. Evan, would you agree with that, or what do you think?
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of that goes with how Tampa runs its defense, and that goes back to the run defense. It's exactly what they did in the Super Bowl. Is the Bucs know that they can stop the run. I mean, they know that most of the time the opposing offense is getting minimal yards at best on the ground. So it allows them to not have to play heavy man boxes, 7-8 guys in the box. They don't have to have a single high safety. They don't have to bring one down. They can sit back, play those 2 deep safeties, play zone, whatever, all that good stuff. And that tempts teams to throw the ball because they're going to make you let me take a half step back. It tempts teams to run the ball, but at the same time, because of the light box, but at the same time, it still gives you a more static look on defense. Now, granted, Todd Bowles was throwing a lot of exotic looks at the Cowboys last night, but I think they were you shouldn't be geared up to stop Zeke as much as you would have been 3 or 4 years ago. But obviously, Bruce Arians said the other day that Zeke was the number one guy.
I will be right back. Give me a second, guys.
You're good, man. I'll just keep talking. I'm good at talking. But yeah. So with all that being said, yeah, the Bucs gave the Cowboys a chance to throw the ball, and the Cowboys took advantage of that. Plus, with the Bucs pass rush, you want to get the ball out quick. So Dallas obviously tailored the game plan to fight off the Bucs defense and get rid of the ball quicker, and that's what they did. I mean, and credit to them, they had a hell of a game plan. And I'm not one to say establish the run it down their throats, run. That's not my MO. But I do still at the same time feel like they should have ran it a little bit more. I mean, 11 carries is. I mean, for Zeke, yeah, sure, that's a decent amount, but he needs at least 4 or 5 more carries.
Yeah, I think they noticed that the production just wasn't there for Zeke, and you can't. And like you said, Dak was throwing the ball really well. The passing game was going really well. So why keep trying to run the ball on one of the best run defenses in the league?
And CD Lamb looks amazing. Oh my God. I know it's Bucs podcast Bucs broadcast. My bad, Gene. Don't kill me, please.
No, it's all good.
But
Gotta give the devil his due.
but dude, CD Lamb just looked absolutely amazing, man. I mean,
No, you got to give
he's
it
gonna be
props
a
up
stud.
when it's deserved.
Yeah.
I really believe that he's learning a lot from Amari Cooper, who to me
sure.
is a very elite route runner.
Yeah,
I
Amari
don't
Cooper
think
played
you
well.
really get to talk a lot about, his preparedness for, for games and just how he runs these routes. I think, as much as I hate Dallas, I love their wide receiver room. I think those guys are going to be really good. The only thing that I have questions about is durability.
Right. Yeah, you got to wonder. I remember there was a play when Dak ran the ball up the sideline, and all the Cowboys fans in the bar were freaking out. They're like, "Don't run, Dak! Don't run! You're gonna get hurt." So,
Yeah, but I'm looking at Amari Cooper, and there were a couple of times he took a few hits. He's a little slow to get up and everything. And then with Gallup with the twisted ankle, I'm just how is their durability throughout the season? Can you depend on that wide receiver room,
right.
Throughout for the long haul?
Amari Cooper gets crapped on a lot for no reason, in my opinion. I don't know why so many people rag on him as they do. I think he's a good receiver. So, but yeah,
I think he did a really great job last night.
Yeah,
and absolutely. Like I said, I love the guy, but again, it's just what he does. Being able to stay healthy, because the best ability is availability, and if you're on the sidelines, holding a clipboard, it just is what it is.
Talking about comments real quick, Kyle X's comment that was just up there about Brady changing the play at the end of the game. Like, obviously we can't really pinpoint what he's talking about, but did y'all happen to notice that? And it might be what he's talking about, but it was the camera on like the wire. I can't think of what it's called right off the top of my head, but the one that kind of does like rotating shots,
right.
Shots. Well, yeah, at the end you could see Brady holding his helmet like he's listening, and then he's like yelling like no, and then he starts spouting off the play. So I was thinking the same thing. I was like, did Tom just hear that and essentially say F this? We're not doing it. Like,
we've seen it before. We've seen quarterbacks say that to offensive coordinators all the time. Like, no, what kind of play is that? I'm not doing that.
But I mean, yeah, like he looked like disgusted almost too. That was the funny part.
But in Tampa, you just rarely you've never seen a quarterback that's been able to change a play at the line or whatever. I think Tom Brady's the only one that I can honestly think of that's been able to do that. Most of them have to kind of stick to what the game plan is.
Jeff Garcia was pretty good at it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I will.
But I mean, we're talking what, 13 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Garcia was the quarterback when I was a kid, when I first started watching the Bucs. So
yeah, that's ancient history. So.
And Deontay Cole is saying that Anthony Brown had no chance with AB. AB
versus AB on AB crime.
Right. Yeah. Both sides of the ball, secondary was just not playing well.
Yeah, that was a brown on brown crime right there.
And if I say Antonio said, I've got a son named Anthony, got the same last name.
Really?
Man, I'm wondering what he's going to do against Atlanta. I'm just really curious to see, if they go back to that. I know a lot of people were tripping about Mike Evans not getting any touches, but folks, there are 17
go with the high hand.
Yeah, 17 games in the season.
God, I hate hearing that, man.
Because he's going to get his touches. That's the thing that people don't realize. AB may be slipping one game and not have a good game. Here comes Mike Evans, or Mike Evans and AB may not have a good game, and it's Chris Godwin. They're all going to get their touches, and unless Rojo gets traded, you're going to see Rojo on the field. I know that and we haven't talked about the running back room.
Yeah, do we even talk about the running back room? That was atrocious. I know. It was atrocious.
You know what? Again, this is the first game of the season, and I still believe that Rojo can help this team in winning. This was just a very sloppy first game on both sides of the ball, to be very honest. And you saw them give Lenny a little bit more leeway, letting him come back out. And
I thought for sure he was going to be in the doghouse.
Yep, they were even targeting him. But as far as Rojo goes, they were like, "Oh no, you're done. You fumbled. That's it." And the way he punched the ball out, that was just good defense right
That's
there.
textbook.
Yeah, I'm done trying to figure out the love affair. I think Bruce Arians has a tattoo of Leonard Fournette somewhere on his forearm, kind of like Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez style. You know what I'm saying? But like, I mean, I just don't get it. And yeah, that bobble on the screen was absolutely atrocious. That was all on Lenny. The fumble was a great defensive play, but Arians did say, and nobody asked a follow-up question because it was a Zoom press conference. So it's not your typical press conference where if a reporter doesn't ask a proper follow-up question, you can't, jump in and ask it yourself. But Arians said today that Rojo was not mentally ready to get over the fumble, and that's why he didn't go back in.
Oh,
I thought I was like, whoa, I
I'd
want
be like, how do you know that?
exactly. I'm like, nobody was like, well, what gave you the indication that he wasn't mentally equipped to get up? Like ask something like that. And I'm not ragging on Tampa media or anything like that at all. I'm just saying, like, I was really surprised nobody asked that, because even the next person could have asked that, and I didn't get that chance to ask a question. That's why I didn't ask it later on down the line. But either way, that kind of tells you right there, gives you some insight as to why he didn't come back in. But still, at the same time, it's like, yeah, how did you not know that? But also, I feel bad for Rojo because he was having such a good year last year, and then the pinky, the pinky, COVID, then the quad. I mean, and it's just like he's in this rut right now. And I mean, he's a good back, so hopefully he can get out of it and start making some plays, and hopefully it happens soon.
Yep, absolutely. I'm right there with you. For me, I think that they should have got him right back in there. And I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with it, but he needs.
Didn't they do that? Didn't they do that a year or two ago? He had a fumble. Like I remember Arians specifically saying, like, it was something he was either struggling or he fumbled or something, and then he went on to have some really good games and play really well. And Arians even said that's why you don't give up on him. Blah 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 blah. I don't know, man. It's like I don't understand just the back and forth, and it's not just
it's
like
bipolar, bro.
Yeah, it's not just like small little differences. It's like difference down here, difference up here. I mean, like it's huge. It's I just, and like I said, I've got better things to concentrate on when it comes with this team, so I'm just gonna leave that in the rear view.
Yep, I totally agree. But
I was shocked to see, Leonard back on the field and not Giovanni Bernard or Keyshawn Vaughn. I really honestly thought that Rojo and Fournette would have been done for the rest of the game. I knew Rojo was done because there might be some sort of bias on the field out there because of last season. He was always in the doghouse after making a mistake. But to see Fournette go back out, I was definitely surprised by that.
It reminds me of like Big Brother, Little Brother, where like the big brother would get in trouble and, get like a little slap on the wrist or something, but then little brother gets in trouble and gets grounded for like a month, and it's just like, wait, where's the justice?
Yeah, there was a meme that I posted where it said, it was the camera showed both of them sitting on the bench all sad, and it said, go to your room and think about what you did, like you said, like brothers made mistakes.
Yeah. Deontay Cole is saying that Chris Godwin play was offensive pass interference.
I mean, you could argue either way. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we could argue all day long. It's not going to change anything right now.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it comes down to the refs. Whatever team it is, they need to be more consistent. Things need to just be more where it's more black and white, because there's so many gray areas. Did you hear the hot mic? Did you hear the ref with the hot mic, where they were talking about a call that they needed to make or something like that?
Oh yeah, a couple months ago, something like that.
Yeah.
It's just, I thought you meant on this game.
Yeah. So again, it's I don't want the refs to be as involved in NFL games as they are, and it's frustrating to see. I don't want to know what their name is. I don't want to know the fact that I know.
We don't want to even know like what you look like. You should be barely there.
All right. Well, Evan, I want to thank you so much for coming on, man. How are things going over at Sports Illustrated?
So far, so good. Weekend, and it's been the perfect timing because, obviously the season just started. So got a lot of good stuff coming out in the next couple of days, and obviously over the next, 16, 17 weeks, and then plus the postseason, hopefully. Obviously Bucs are most likely going to be there, but I just don't want to jinx it too badly. But yeah, man, I absolutely love it. Do miss y'all though over there at the old the report though, for sure.
Hey man, you're all, you know, like I said,
Moving
you're from the
up.
show. You're always welcome here, man.
And y'all are always welcome as well. So yeah, man, totally.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for coming on, man, and tell everybody how they can get a hold of you before I let you go.
Yeah, for sure. Like Gene was just saying, find my written work on Sports Illustrated Buccaneers website. It's called allbucs.com. And then you can also find me on Twitter at Evan_winner. And then I also do a podcast. It's for Believe Podcast Network, and it is called Believe in Bucs. And actually, if you follow the Believe Podcast Network, there's a trend on there where this is how they set everything up. They're a former player co-hosts or hosts the flagship podcast. And right now I'm currently doing it solo, but we do have somebody in the works right now. I can't divulge just yet, but definitely check out the podcast.
I'll get it out of you later.
Yeah. If you like it, it's Believe in Bucs, BLEAV. Yeah, you got my number, man. So
I didn't even know about it.
yeah, check it out. And but like I said,
too, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Doug Martin was originally supposed to set up, but then he listened to a couple of my shows and was like, nah, screw that dude. I'm not working with that idiot. No, I'm kidding. Things just fell through. But yeah, either way, like I was saying, if you like what you hear on there, keep your eyes out because there should be some news regarding that development here in the next few weeks.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Very nice.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much. That was Evan Winter. I think, we haven't done this for a while. We really need to get some calls in. I think I have everything set up here. Let me see if I can. And make sure I got everything set up and get some people to call in. And because I do want to, the chat's been lit. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna get some people on here. And again, 813-358-8154. The number's down at the bottom if you want to call in and give your thoughts on the game. I'd love to hear from you. And we will get this back rolling with Smack Apparel, where we will be giving away a t-shirt. So, if you call in starting next week, there's an opportunity for you to get a shirt. So, it's kind of going back to the game, and there's some really good comments in here. Deontay Cole, thank you so much for, checking us out. 4 Marks Music, pressure equals picks. As a Cowboys fan, I agree. The booth didn't call it. Vita Vea should have been fumbled. I don't know what he's talking about there.
Pull that up.
Yeah, so let's see. Rojo Lenny Godwin, all cause turnovers. Hold on, let me put this up here. G Vegas. What's up, G Vegas? Rojo Lenny Godwin, all cause turnovers, yet one didn't get a chance to redeem himself. So, and
yeah, I see that.
Everything's Buck said, if Godwin didn't fumble the ball, we're going to score on that drive.
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. We got a caller here. All right, you are live on Buc What You Heard. Who am I talking with?
It's Deontay.
Deontay, what's going on, man? How you doing?
How's it going, man? I feel like I have to, add a little spice to y'all show after this game, man. It was a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just either way. For me, I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, the Bucs are going to blow them out." I didn't really have any expectations, to be honest. I thought the Bucs would win, but again, I didn't know what to expect from Tampa because we haven't really seen them. We saw one game against the Houston Texans for like 3 quarters, so really don't know.
Right. Yeah, that's what everybody fail to realize. Teams they change every year, man. So you never know, especially even till now, it's the first game. So
right,
everybody already got it already planned. But overall, usually these first games they be blowouts, but this one was a great season opener. I enjoyed it. Heck, man, bruh, my own fan base didn't believe in the guy. So.
Well, it's good. I think he's redeemed himself, and especially with that performance, Dak has always been underrated. Just throughout his career as a Dallas Cowboy to begin with, and coming back from that injury, showing no signs of rust. picking up right where he left off week 5 of last year. It was just incredible to see him out there playing the way he was. And again, that gives your fan base hope, especially with the NFC East, and winning that division, which is still kind of, we haven't seen the other teams, so I can't say for sure if it's wide open or not. But Dallas has served notice that they are legit contenders.
Exactly, and that Vita Vea, man, we had concerns about too. But Vita Vea, bro, I wish we had him on our team. I have to say that because that guy frees up those linebackers. He's a linebacker's best friend.
Yeah.
And that's what I was telling the story about Kansas City. Kansas City totally discounted Vita Vea because he was injured. He was injured week 12, so they didn't see him, and they really didn't know what to expect from Vita Vea. And then the way he comes in and he can collapse a pocket and he eats up double teams. He's so big and he's fast. I don't really think you got to see how fast he really is because of the way he was playing. But he's incredible.
Yeah, he destroyed my center, man. Like that play that he kind of grazed on Dak's knees, man. I was like, oh my God, like for real. But hey.
Oh yeah, and I just remembered Vito was on offense for one play. Remember that he lined up in the backfield.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, that's man. I mean, I know that. I actually wanted to stay with him, so I followed his career, man. He's a fighter, man. He ain't gonna back down. That's not his character, man. A lot of people
he's from your neck of the woods, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm from Louisiana, but he went to Mississippi State. He went to the same school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so man, like the dude, a lot of people like to, he gets a lot of heat because he plays for the Cowboys. I know some of my fans are annoying. They annoy me, so I get it. You know what I'm saying? But hey,
I've got friends. I don't know if you watch the show. Ruth the Truth, she comes on. She's huge Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
And
I follow her on Twitter.
Yeah, real good to talk to. I appreciate her insight on this.
Our friendship was tested last night.
But I do want to thank you for calling in, man. And you're always welcome to call in whenever. And I appreciate your insight. So as an outsider looking in on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what were your takeaways from the game last night?
My takeaway is so man, dude, man, I'm trying to do my own thing. So, I just got my analyst, eyes. I've been looking at work because I'm like, this is the same defense from 2019. You know what I'm saying? So I just got rid of Jameis Winston. So the only thing I kind of saw is they kind of, dropped out last night is the secondary.
Right.
That's the reason why we didn't run the ball a lot. You know what I'm saying? We knew we couldn't run the ball.
Right.
It's the secondary. And with Whitehead being out, it was just easy, man. Like I seen he was just throwing a straight dart. The white word Shaq. Shaq Barrett? Throwing his helmet off. It's a little bit too much with those guys. But as far as like the defensive front, man, like you said, he couldn't run.
Yeah.
Everybody talking about sorry and stuff. He can't run, man.
And realistically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And because you could throw on the secondary, I mean, why if you could, instead of going for 5 yards, you can get 15 yards throwing the ball. That's what you're going to do.
Right.
And again, that's something that Tampa is going to have to clean up. And I think that the Dallas Cowboys can improve on. I think the one thing that really hurts Dallas right now is not having a viable tight end. I mean, you go back to Jason Witten, and when you had somebody like a Jason Witten that was big, he was durable, he was reliable, and he could get you those first downs. I see Dallas improving on that very soon. In the offseason and fixing that piece of it all. So again, this is going to be just a great season of football. And before I let you go, are there any games that you're actually looking forward to on Sunday? And, our teams have played. and kind of sit back and enjoy some of these games. Are there any games that you're looking forward to watching on Sunday?
Man, it's Sunday. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing all the people in my, teams in my division, hopefully lose.
Yeah.
But I do want to see that Saints and Green Bay game.
Yeah. I want to see Green Bay.
Stand both teams.
Yeah, I want to.
I'd rather see Green Bay win.
Yep, I want to see Green Bay get 60. I want to see them score 60 if they can.
Absolutely.
I swear. And I actually want to see if the Saints, how the Saints are without Drew Brees, this hype real. Because I'm gonna be honest, man. If it ain't y'all will surf through this division. Now the Falcons. I currently live in Atlanta. I'm from Mississippi, but I live in Atlanta. And nobody in Atlanta believes in the Falcons, man. Nobody.
Bro, after that Super Bowl just destroyed that whole fan base.
Yeah, it was a curse. A curse was put on them.
That Super Bowl broke that team from top to bottom, and they ain't been right since.
Exactly. And with Julio was basically the last straw. Once Julio left, people don't even know. I mean, the majority of the people that I know that were hard, Falcon fans, they looking for another team. They like they don't like Matt Ryan. You know what I'm saying? They wanted Matt Ryan to go.
Well, let me ask you this: what did you think about them passing on Justin Fields?
Man, they shouldn't have did that. I mean, Kyle Pitts, he got a lot of weight on his shoulders. He got a lot of weight because.
Bro, I'm here to tell you when I look at Matt Ryan, that they should have moved on from him. I'm telling you, that Super Bowl just ruined everything. And that's if you're a new head coach, you're a new general manager, why not just go ahead and start over? That buys you some time with the fans because you've got a rookie quarterback coming in. You could pick up you could easily pick up a veteran and bring him in or something like that and just kind of move on. But eventually, at some point, you're going to have to move on from Matt Ryan. Yeah. You just are.
Exactly.
I don't know if you're just and when I know they love the tight end, their tight end that they picked up, and they're saying once in a generation tight end or whatever.
He should play well.
He's not the guy that's going to get the ball out, and your quarterback is probably, after learning over all these years, your quarterback is very important. Having the right quarterback under center is very important. So I don't know, man. It's going to be crazy.
In my point of view, they should have worked on a defense. If anything, they defense the players. They don't really have anybody besides Grady Jarrett.
Yeah, Grady Jarrett.
I mean, that's all. What they got? Shoot, that's really it that I know of, man. Yeah. So I mean, defensively, I don't think they got better. I don't think they got better at all.
No.
Can't even name nobody.
Yeah.
That's the sad part about it.
Yeah. So I think, to be honest, it's going to be interesting. That's definitely a game other than the Green Bay game. I think the Atlanta game, because the Bucs play Atlanta next. Right. I think that would be the next game that I will definitely be watching on Sunday for me. So, just
is that a home for y'all or away? It really don't matter. It's away.
I think that is
for the Falcons.
Yeah, the Falcons. I think
Falcons is at home in Atlanta.
Is it at home?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
At 1.
Okay. All right. So
I
it
just had the schedule pulled up. Definitely looking forward to watching the Falcons game just because I want to see where they're at for us next week, and then obviously Saints, Green Bay, and then I want to see Carolina, see what Sam Darnold has to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Carolina might be a dark horse. I'm not saying they're gonna run with it, but they might give a little bite.
They're mysterious. You really don't, you haven't
no
heard
idea
about
what's
what they've
happen.
done, in the off season or anything. So I'm really curious to see, how they're coming along and, are they buying into Matt Rule's system and everything? It's going to be really cool to see how they come along as well.
Exactly.
All right, my friend. Are you on social media?
Man, I'm trying to start a Twitter page, man. I don't be too social. I'm on Facebook, but I ain't got no content in my I talk
Well,
a lot of Cowboys trash.
you know, I really enjoyed talking with you, man, because you know you are you are a football fan, and that's greatly
Right.
appreciated. It's not like you just stuck on your team. You follow multiple teams, and that's
Yeah.
greatly appreciated. You know, again, that's like, you know, when you come on the show or you're in the chat, you know, nobody's going to attack you. It's a safe zone. You can say whatever you have to say, and you know, you don't have to worry about that. I mean, there are some places
Oh, yeah.
where you know you say whatever
I'll
and
be
people
like,
come
get
at
out of the chat. Get out of
you.
here.
But you
Hey,
are, you know, you're
Hey, it's
always
fun to be, man.
As long as you're not delusional, then you're good.
but you are, you know,
Exactly.
you're always welcome back, man. You know, and again, if you call in and if you're the right caller, you can win a free t-shirt from Smack Apparel next week. So keep that in mind.
All right.
You get a chance to win you a shirt, man. We'll get that shipped out to you. So
All right,
again,
not a problem.
and you know, you can find me at Buc What You Heard, and follow me. I'll follow you back, man. And you can kind of enjoy the season. Who knows? We may run
All
into
right.
each other in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Hey, that'd be something worth seeing, man.
Definitely.
that would be
All right,
something.
man. Well,
Y'all
thank
take care.
Hey, thank you so much for calling in.
Not a problem.
All right. Hey, there you go. You never thought you'd see that, but you got a Cowboys fan and stayed on for a minute and talked with us. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. At least he wasn't. Yeah, like I said, he's not he's not a delusional Cowboys fan.
Yeah,
so it's fine. We can
he was
talk.
fun to talk
We can
to.
talk rationally.
Yeah. Tempe 1D. I agree. You know, if Matt Ryan's going to be there, they got to bring Kyle Pitts along. Oh, we got another caller here. Hold on. All right, you're live on Buc What You Heard. Who am I talking with?
Mr. Everything Bucs.
Mr. Everything Bucs. What's happening, my friend?
And everything is love.
I
Went to
know,
work
man.
This morning, shut down all the Cowboys fans. Some don't say nothing to me. Go stand in the corner. I don't give a dang. I don't give a dang. It don't care if it was by a point, 2 points, or what. You 0-1.
That's
That's
right.
what it matters at the end of the day. No disrespecting no Cowboys fans, but I got too many of them at my job. I had to shut them down this morning.
Yep, it's like that sometimes, man. So, what were some of your takeaways from the game? I really love your takes, by the way. You know, Mr. Everything Bucs, been following the show, and you know we've been chatting back and forth for a while. What were your takeaways from the game?
One thing that I loved last night that's not getting enough media attention was the Joe Tryon rush on when they brought Joe Tryon in right before the pick. Him getting in the backfield and Dak faced what forced that pass interception that Davis had picked up. Nobody's talking about that. And it started showing actually in the preseason with him how fast he's actually getting in the backfield.
Yeah.
Now, also, last night, if you paid attention to the first half to the second half with Dak was timid, real timid in the first half.
Right.
He didn't calm down and get really comfortable until late in the third quarter. Then that's when he started to say, okay, I'm going to test this leg out to see how it goes right there.
Right.
But if you take that third quarter away and that Godwin fumble that we were going down there driving, that game wouldn't have been close at all.
Nope.
At all.
Not even close.
The big question is this right here, coming up to the trade deadline, and some people may agree, some people might not agree. What are you going to do with O.J. Howard, Mike Evans, and Rojo? And the reason why I say Mike Evans, since Tom Brady has been there, Mike has not improved his route running, even trying to learn from A.B. I passed last night, Mike Evans sat there and watched the ball went left and did not try to make an attempt to run up under it, try to catch it, nothing. He just watched the ball go to I'm like, Mike, the defender 6 feet in front of you tipped the ball. Why are you not trying to run out there and grab the ball? I'm like, that was a catchable ball still. But you let that would have been Godwin, Scotty, A.B., Gronk. They would have tried to make them adjustments on that. And that's something that killed Jameis while he was in Tampa. Bad route running by the receiver.
Yep, 100%. Now, have you ever seen the video that Michael Clayton did like a 30-minute video, and he talked about route running.
Right.
And he talked about clean route running. He talked about clean. I mean, he broke it down. And you may like him, you may not like him. I love this guy, and he's honest. Michael Clayton, post football Michael Clayton. I love this guy because everything he's saying is true, and it speaks to what you're saying. And
Me and you talked about this last year. Me and you talked about this last season, right?
Yep, we sure did.
If you listen to one of the commentators today, what they said Mike Evans is becoming a Vincent Jackson in front of our eyes, and if commentators are already saying that. So guess what? While Mike Evans draft and his stock is still high on him, trade him for something else to go ahead and get what you need. Now, if we're talking about trying to get a shutdown corner over there, if we get one shutdown corner for Tampa, that would settle that back end. And that's something we had not had since Khalid been there. We have not had a true shutdown corner since then.
This is true. This is very true. We have not.
It has been that long right there.
Yeah.
But now, if I'm Jason Light, I'm dangling OJ and Mike Evans. To be honest, Rojo, you got maybe one good year left in you with Tampa. Maybe one good year. Because now one thing I give Rojo this year, from what I've seen in the preseason and so far in the regular season so far, he has worked on his pass blocking because it was times to where
he looked confused.
Used to take him out. He took Rojo out the game because Rojo could not pick up the pass block.
Right.
This year here, I have been seeing Rojo with the pass blocking improvement, major improvement. But he got to cut down on the fumbles if he wants to take that lead job from Leonard Fournette. They were going to let Leonard Fournette go, but they still felt in the back of their head, still ain't sold on Rojo yet.
Yeah.
Did you let him go? Did you end up bringing him back? Fournette is one of those running backs. You don't let him go. You keep him. You give him the money. He's a workhorse. He's basically the same type of back. If you go back and remember what Cam had with Thunder and Lightning back in the day. Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo, what was his last name? Williams?
D'Angelo Williams. Yeah, D'Angelo Williams.
D'Angelo Williams.
Yeah.
Long as he had those two backs in the backfield with him, you cannot stop Carolina. It didn't matter who was on the outside.
Right.
The main thing was Cam had another running game to go along with him.
Yeah.
With that right there. Now, we got to give kudos to the offensive line last night.
Bro.
Number 76.
Even number 7, I was just getting ready to drop his name too, because
even Mr. 76.
Because I'm telling you what, man, and I mean to cut you off here. He had some blocks. He had some nice blocks. And he was taking defenders out of the play. And it was away from the flow of the game. So you kind of had to be keyed in. For me, with the offensive line, there will be times where I'll watch Ali Marpet and I'll watch him for 3 or 4 plays. I'll watch Tristan Wirfs and I'll just watch him. And even if the play goes away from him, but I just happen to be watching, and I think I know what you're talking about. I just happen to be watching Donovan Smith, and this guy, I mean, he's changed up his game. I mean, he's playing a lot more confident than I've ever seen him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you, that was the Tom Brady effect after the Chicago game last year.
Absolutely.
Tom said something to whatever he said to Donovan Smith that Jameis did not say to him. It lit a fire up under him.
But that's leadership, man. And again, I'm not disrespecting Jameis Winston because he's got records that'll stand in Tampa for a long time or whatever. But I'm just saying you're talking about 2 totally different types of mentalities here. And Tom Brady's prepared. He ain't afraid to tell you how it is, and he's a good teacher too. I mean, he's teaching these guys, as they're all playing together. You kind of saw that with that last drive. You saw they had planned on this. They had practiced this. They worked on this. And, everybody was in sync. There weren't any back-breaking penalties on that last drive. They knew they were going to go down the field and do what they needed to do. And there were no penalties. Whereas you've seen in years past, there was some back-breaking, fucked-up-ass penalty that made you take it all the way back 10 yards. And then it just deflates the whole team.
The only penalty that I disagreed with last night was the one on the center. when the defensive lineman
Jensen.
slapped them in the face and they called penalty. I'm like, the man got slapped upside the head like almost throwing a plate.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was like, what is this?
Oh my God. But again,
But
man.
you call it on him. I'm like, what are you doing, ref? Why are you even calling that?
Yeah.
And you've seen it. It was both going back and forth. But I'm going to tell you, one play I give Donovan Smith credit on. Did you see the pancake he put on Michael Parsons?
Oh my
coming off
God.
the edge last night? And he put him straight to the dirt.
And
He
you wouldn't
put him
see, and I'm
straight to
telling
the
you, you
dirt.
would not have seen if we go back 2 years, you're not seeing Donovan Smith ain't even
No.
thinking about doing that.
I was like, did he just put the rookie in the dirt?
He's
I'm
definitely
like,
stepped
after the
up his
rookie
game.
say,
So
after the fact that, and I hope that taught all defensive rookies coming into the league, don't talk smack before the game, before
Nope.
you see Tom Brady and trying to hype your name up.
nope.
Did you not see what Tom Brady cut the guy up in Washington in the playoffs?
Yeah,
I
Chase
want
Young.
Tom.
Yeah, Chase Young.
I want Tom. Okay, you gonna get the full Thomas figure. What happened?
Yep.
You're going to get Tom.
All
And he got that work.
rookies don't make Tom mad before a game. Now
Yep.
I'm gonna swing it to the other side of the field. Did you see the other pass block that Tristan Wirth pushed the man out 20 yards coming off the edge?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great one.
He could have carried him to the bench if he wanted to.
Yeah, that was a
Hey,
good one.
You laughing? I thought I was looking at the blind side for a second. I'm like, what? Is that Michael Alden? Like,
Yeah, pick him up and run down the field. He needed
I'm
good
like,
blood.
what's going on here?
You know, and
But
that's
the
why I
one thing-
appreciate talking to you, because you're talking about plays away from where the ball was, and very rarely do you get to talk to people when they're like, oh, did you see this play, and they're like, no, I was watching where the ball was. So
Yeah.
you know, I always encourage, and you know, people, if you're listening right now, you get to watch a game, you don't always have to watch where the ball's going. You need to watch some of these other players that are setting up what's actually happening on this play, or how they're benefiting a play that's being made. And you'll be surprised at some of the little gems you pick up, you know, just how some of these guys are blocking, or how some of these guys, you know, on the defensive side of the ball, moves that they're making to get past the offensive lineman to get to the quarterback. Joe Tryon, you know, we talked about him, and some of the moves that he's picked up. I mean, he's not a one-trick person.
JPP must be living with JPP or something, because he looks like a JPP clone right now.
He
Yeah,
does.
he's built just like JPP.
And you know, just
Now-
watching him play, man, and just you hope that he just continues to get better.
I have one question for you.
Okay.
Why is what is his name? It just looks like
Say what?
safety that wasn't there last night. What was his name? Whitehead.
Jordan
Why is
Whitehead.
Whitehead still starting? I have nothing personally against Jordan Whitehead. But
Jordan
I
Whitehead
feel
did not
like
play last night.
that is-
Yeah, he was out. Yeah,
He
that's what
didn't
said.
You're
play.
thinking about Anton Winfield Jr.?
You know, I think what he contributes when he is healthy, I think they kind of factor that in. I'm not sure, you know, and I'm like you, because the best ability is availability, and that's what's most important, is that guy that can be out on the field. And you know, you're right. I think if these other guys have earned time to get on the field, yeah, you should play them. But at the end of the day, you want your best 53, whoever they may be, you know. And
Whitehead has been on the squad since what?
Since he was a rookie.
Him that we were not named that
yeah,
him that we were not named that was a tight end that got embarrassed against the Steelers on that Monday night
yeah.
with that stiff hand.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like Chris Conti though, man.
Oh no.
When we said his name, oh my God, we said his name.
Oh no. Chris Conti.
No,
No.
he never gets his name mentioned on the air ever again.
He
just a
should.
number
So,
at
okay,
this point.
so I make a promise that won't happen again.
Nope. His
No
name
more.
will never be spoken.
Whitehead has been there. Whitehead has been there too long, and his availability does not add up to his play on the field. I'm sorry. And last year in the draft or the free agency, we should address a better free safety with him being there. Now, I understand Mike Edwards, because when you actually look at that one other play that Amari Cooper caught in that corner, and you thought he might have been done for the game when he was laying down on the cut, that went to picking on that poor third string corner.
Yep.
Oh, that's it. I said, you know what? That picking on, he picking those spots right there, wherever that third string safety is.
Yeah.
Right there. Again, that safety position has to be addressed. We have to get another shutdown corner before the year is over with. And we don't, at least if we don't get a safety or a shutdown corner, that secondary is going to be in trouble all year if that front seven is not getting pressure. Because I guarantee you, only thing that Dallas did last night, they went back and looked at tape with, and if you look at the game plan from last night and you go back and watch that Rams game, they did the exact same thing the Rams did to us when we lost that game. Yep. All they did was screen pass the whole game.
Yep, they didn't even try to run the ball in. Yeah.
That's just the same game plan.
Yeah.
And teams think, oh, all we got to do is just dink and dunk. No, and we're not going to even use them. No, you're going to have to use that running game. But just like I was telling someone at work, for the last 2 to 3 years, Tampa has had the number one run stop in defense, and we took out all marquee running backs. And I
including
believe
Derek.
Last night,
Well, they held Derrick Henry to like 75 yards.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Derrick Henry was the only running back that got over 100 yards last.
No, it was Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook did.
Was it Dalvin Cook?
I thought he can't. No, he had, some of that was receiving yards. I thought.
Oh, okay.
It was all-purpose yards. It wasn't straight running yards. That was all-purpose yards.
Okay.
With Dalvin Cook, but Derrick Henry was the only running back that actually got over 100 yards on the.
No, I think he only got 75 yards on us. 75 yards rushing.
We got to check that one right there on your next show.
Yeah, I'll check.
Call back on the next show.
Yeah. I'll look it up because I honestly believe. He only got 75 yards. I don't think he went over 100.
Yeah, there were very few. I think there weren't any really.
Hold on, let me look real quick.
Did you catch the sly remark? Did you catch the sly remark that Drew Brees threw at us last night at the commentating table?
Yep. From beginning to end, I can't stand that dude. Retired or playing, I can't stand that clown.
He is so salty right now that we ended his career.
Yep, the way it ended too.
Oh Lord,
couldn't happen to a better player either.
And this was my first year that I have all my coworkers. This is all in this 1 year. I played everybody that's a coworker of mine this year. Falcons. We just played the Cowboys.
Yep.
Saints. And this is another. No, I think we had Giants this year here too. I got a lot of Giants fans on the job too.
Yeah, there's lots of Giants fans.
And Giants fans are talking real greasy right now, like, oh, y'all escaped with that win there. I said, okay. But the one game that I'm looking for redemption for Tom on this year here, that he has to really come out and put that stink on, is that Chicago game.
Yep.
And I really hope they don't have enough common sense to put Justin Fields in at quarterback that game right.
I don't think they're gonna put him out there like that. I don't see how I don't see how they can put him out there. You know, that's like Tua. Last year with Tua,
right?
They should have let Fitz should have just played out that whole season. And then you roll Tua out. That helps your coaches, that helps everybody. Just as a team in Miami. But the way they rolled it out and kind of went back and forth, it was just a bad situation. Sean Murphy Bunting, I think he's got a dislocated elbow or something.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Dislocated a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So it's not as
that's
bad.
At least a 3-week injury there.
Yeah, so it's not as bad as it looked. I was kind of.
It looked broken, but.
Yeah, I was pretty grossed out by it.
I love watching those. I don't know why.
I'm not.
But one thing about Sean Murphy Bunting, he has the best cover skills out of all the corners.
Mm.
Dean is this straight, a hard-hitting corner. That's it. He has really no true cover skills. Now, if you need somebody to come bring the wood, Dean is that corner to bring the wood.
Yeah.
Carlton Davis, Carlton is strictly a man-to-man corner. That's it. You ask him to play zone or anything else in it, he get lost. He's strictly man-to-man. You got to put him on whoever their best receiver
And I think when
and
he
put
was
him on the
drafted,
island by himself.
and when he was drafted, I think that's what they drafted him for, is just being able to do that, play man to man. So
But they drafted him for that, but they had more high remarks on Sean Murphy Button. They said
Right.
Sean Murphy Button hadn't allowed a touchdown 4 years of his college, or 3 years of the college that he was going to prior to coming out.
yeah,
Right there, he set some kind of record up in the Pac-10, maybe Pac-12 or something like that, and they were very high on him. But I'm like, but he hasn't done it against top quality receivers in the SEC or the ACC or even the division Oklahoma and them was in right there. He hasn't done that against them. So it's going to be an adjustment period when he gets to the NFL and start realizing you're good, but you might not be as good as you think you is right there. You going to have to play a lot of catch up on some stuff that you're doing. But, thanks for having me on the show.
hey, no
I'll
problem.
call
No-
back in on next week.
Yeah, be sure to call back in. I'm gonna try. I'm still trying to figure this out because I'm almost positive it was like he ended up with like 75 yards. I just didn't think.
Oh.
Oh, that's not me. That's somebody else hitting on their car.
All right.
I know that's loud. So.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you go then.
Okay, thanks, man.
All right. That was kind of awkward, but that horn was loud. But yeah, I can't remember. I swear Derrick Henry did not.
Yeah, I don't
He
think
didn't run
I
for
don't
over
know.
100 against the Bucs. And I was trying to find that. But anyway, I'll find it for the next show. But I'm almost positive he was at 75 yards or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I
got
can't
it
believe
pulled
we've been on for over an hour. So any big plans? What's up with the show? When is the show gonna happen?
We've been delaying the Bucs Babes. Ruth and I have been running into some issues with, just getting ready with just getting prepared and things like that. This week, Ruth is out of town, so we're not doing it. But hopefully next Friday, we will have it up and running.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, and we'll go ahead and roll up out of here.
All right. I am the Tampa Sports Bay. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Tampa Sports Bay. That's BAE. Talk all sports in Tampa.
All right. Definitely want to shout out Smack Apparel. You guys are the best. Love you guys. We should be seeing some new t-shirts out here pretty soon. And again, none of this would be possible without Bucs Report. Shout out to Bucs Report and all the great shows on Bucs Report. Be sure to check them out. If you get a chance, hit their website up, bucsreport.com. And, again, you can follow Tampa Bay and or myself or both of us. We'll definitely be talking about Ryan Suckup, of course.
Yes, we talk a lot of good things about Ryan Suckup, and
Our guy.
That's the man.
He is. And he showed it last night. So, again, everybody enjoy this victory. Go Packers, because I really –
Yep, I'm a Packers fan this week, 100%.
Yep, Packers by 60. That's what I'm hoping for. But anyway, you guys have a great weekend. Everybody, thank you so much for checking us out. Thank you for calling in. Please, I want to get more people calling in next week. Derrick Henry had 16 carries, 75 yards. That's what I thought. Thank you so much, Tempe. All right, guys, we are out of here.